Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm still in progress, and today we are back with more Dark Souls boss rankings. Today we're going to go through bosses ranked number 19 to 11. This includes some of the bad and some of the better bosses in the game, including all of the little in-betweeners. Before I start, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who watched part 1. If you haven't, the link will be in the description down below, or you can just check my recent videos and you'll see it right there. I, once again, cannot thank you guys enough for showing the support that you have, and without further ado, let's roll right into boss number 19. The Four Kings. Honestly, a boss that I had high expectations for when I first went into the New Londo Ruins, and then was immediately disappointed when I realized this was just a massive DPS test. The entire name of this fight is get in as close as possible so their attacks do minimal damage, and swing like there's no tomorrow. To make matters worse, there's not even 4 distinct kings. They're all the exact same, with the same moveset, the same appearance, and they all die just as easily. Unfortunately, this boss takes a well-deserved spot near the bottom for lack of creativity, and an overall sense of just, why were you here? Next up on the list, we have the Centipede Demon. Honestly, a boss that, once you get face-to-face with it, is one of the most fun fights in the game, from my perspective. Unfortunately, to do so, you have to traverse 2 different sets of lava pools, which will absolutely eat away at your health. And I find that kind of unfair, considering that it gives you a literal pebble to stand on at the beginning, as the Centipede Demon spams you with ranged attacks. And if you haven't spec'd your vitality all the way up to the ceiling, then you are in trouble. Unfortunately, it's a boss that suffers from having a bad arena, but an amazing concept, especially in the way that you can chop off its limbs, which will spawn lesser Centipede Demons that you can then fight and eliminate. Overall, an amazing boss concept that just suffers from poor design, but not from the boss itself, but from the level around it. Coming up next, we have Mr. Tall and Spooky himself. Gravelord Neato takes place at number 17 on this list. And get your trumpets ready, because this is about to get on Mr. Bones' wild ride. And my god, does it never end. He spawns endless waves of skeletons that will just not go away. And you have to use the massive rock formation in the center to try and get any kind of separation from them. But even then, you still have to worry about Neato shrieking his head off while plunging his sword into the ground and spawning a giant sword that erupts from your exact location. And if you don't have frame-perfect rolling, you are getting skewered like a shish kebab. But not only that, it depends on RNG. I don't know why, but there are certain runs where all he does is that attack in the large sweeping motions, not to mention the little grabby hand of death that I love to see, and everyone loves to see it. He will sometimes charge up an AoE that will eliminate all of the skeletons in the area, and you can tank it, getting a few hits, and he will continuously do it over and over and over again, making it either one of the hardest or one of the easiest fights in this game. For someone who had to wait for us at the end of the Tomb of the Giants and the Catacombs, yeah, no, Neato, I'm sorry. You don't pass.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Moving up on the list, we have Asylum Demon. This has an argument to be one of the best tutorial bosses in the Soul series. However, you do most of your learning outside of the arena rather than in the fight itself. It has large sweeping attacks and a ground slam that'll, send you dizzy every once in a while, but all you gotta do is get behind it and it's a bit of a joke. Honestly, the lack of diverse moveset really kind of shows once you get later into the fight. Kind of shows its difficulty in spades. Overall, it's a great tutorial boss, but kind of falls short everywhere else. And that is why it gets number 16. Here we have the fight that I'm most annoyed about. Dark Sun Gwyndolin, a being of immense power that made the visage of Guinevere, made the son of Anor Londo, and is the sole god to stay in Anne Orlando the whole time, and the leader of the Dark Moon Blade Covenant. And we get Endless Hallway Simulator 5000. Homing balls that are easy to roll through, a giant laser that can clip through walls for some ungodly reason, oh, and a repeating crossbow. Not to mention, whenever you get within a zip code of this thing, it decides to teleport away. Like, come on. I just want to hit you 3 times with my sword so that you fall over dead. Is that too much to ask? Overall, Gwyndolin is kind of a disappointment, and while I feel that it might earn a spot lower on the list, I can't deny the fact that I still have fun every time I go and beat this goober into the ground.
I have a question for the god. What?
Here we have the Gaping Dragon, which is basically what happens when you get an extreme case of the munchies and you live in the sewers. Unfortunately, there's not really much to say about this boss. It's almost perfectly in the middle of the pack. All I can say is that the design is horrifying, the moveset is diverse enough to be really cool, and you can also cut off the tail. Honestly, I really like this boss, and I've kind of undershot it by putting it at 14th, but I don't regret putting it here at all. I would say that the amount of damage it does isn't really proportional to the beast that we're fighting. I mean, come on. It has a grab attack in which it places you in its massive rows of teeth, and even that's not a guaranteed kill. This is one of the few bosses where a well-placed one-shot would do wonders for this thing. Not to mention that if you summon 2 other AIs to deal with this thing, it becomes a living meme. I mean, sure, it can deal with one of them, but other than that, it's kind of a walking, flying meme. But it's a fun meme, and I can't help but play a bit of Gangplank Galleon to it whenever I fight it. Overall, perfect boss to be right in the middle of the road. Here we have the Taurus Demon, and man, I really wish I could say more about it. For most people, this is the second boss you fight, but it's also easily skippable if you have the right amount of equipment and you know where to go. That being said, fighting this thing or not doesn't really do much for you. It makes you scan your surroundings and take care of the 2 archers stat at the top of the rook, firing down at you as you try to fight this thing. Dealing with them beforehand, though, gives you a couple advantages. 1. As the Taurus Demon comes towards you, you can get to the top of the tower and do a plunging attack. But I like the fact that staying on top of the tower too long, to maybe heal or try to think that you have some safe space, the Taurus Demon will jump up onto the tower and attack you there. Not only that, it'll cause you to panic, fall back down the tower, and then you look like an idiot as you die to fall damage. Definitely didn't do that a couple times. But the biggest thing that I like is that there are several ways to try to fight this boss. One of them being infinitely more hilarious than the others, and that is to make this thing fall off the bridge to its death unintentionally. Overall, I always have a blast when I fight this thing on top of this massive overlook over the city that you just conquered, and I've gotta say, nice work, FromSoft. Middle of the pack for the Taurus Demon.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Alright, guys, we gotta talk. Look, I get the DLC bosses are all phenomenal. I do. I really do. How, in the name of the Age of Fire, did you all collectively put this thing at 5th? This thing had a couple votes for best boss in the game. I don't know if you guys just decided to troll the ever-living crap out of me. I don't know if you guys were high on some of that good humanity. But, oh my god. Thank you for skewing this ranking like there was no tomorrow. I still don't understand it, but now enough about you guys, let's talk about the boss. Overall, I can at least see the appeal of it. It's in a wide arena, it's a fast-moving boss with a variety of movesets, ranging from fast-moving lightning projectiles to one massive forceful blast that'll still travel the length of the arena in 2 seconds, knocking you on your backside. It has an attack where it flaps its wings and does a big gust of air that'll trap you, where it'll follow up with a ramming attack. But it's easy to roll to the side of, which allows you to get a few extra hits in. Overall, the name of the game is Don't Get Too Greedy, and you should have no problem beating this boss. But 12th? Or you picked 5th? We have to have a chat later. Coming up next, we have one of my favorite bosses on the list, and I'm so happy to say that it made the top 11th. Oh my god, cowboy guy.
I'm tired of this nonsense and this blasphemy. How is Iron Golem that far off the list? It's a small arena, huge swings, he can throw you off, he can fall off. I got one word for Iron Golem. Tarkus!
In his defense, I can actually understand where he's coming from on this one. From what I've been told, people don't like the Iron Golem and love it for a number of reasons. The first reason that most people don't like it is the fact that an NPC can 1v1 it, and also that's another reason that people love this boss. Because quite honestly, there's nothing better than seeing Tarkus go hand to hand with this massive behemoth of iron. Quite honestly, I'm one of those people, so why am I complaining? But, jokes aside, most people who don't like this boss get aggravated over the boring moveset and the annoying grab attack hitbox. Not only that, if you're in the wrong position and you get grabbed, you're getting spiked like a volleyball all the way down to the forest below. But, on the flip side, people who like this boss love the arena, myself included. I like the moveset, I think it's perfect for this lumbering iron golem, and the fact that you're able to knock this thing off of the side intentionally, unlike the Taurus demon, makes it a really unique, diverse, and lovable boss in my opinion. And maybe I'm just a sucker for giant iron suits of armor. Maybe I am. But I don't care. Regardless, I love this boss, and it will forever remain as one of my favorite bosses in Dark Souls, even if it's not really that highly regarded by others. Well, that does it for all of our bosses outside of the top 10. As always, please let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. If you have any predictions of what you think the #1 boss in Dark Souls will be, and feel free to call me an idiot in the comments if you don't agree with any of them. Nah, I'm just kidding. But in all seriousness, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, maybe like and subscribe, and maybe also share it with some friends. We're trying to hit 500 as soon as possible. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.